Hello and welcome to the Direct Selling Success Podcast. I'm Anna Green and I'm here to share with you tips, tricks and training on network marketing done right. Thank you for listening.
Hello everybody, hello and welcome to another edition of In Conversation With. I am so excited to be here with the amazing Lisa Williams, Vision Board Queen. I will let her introduce herself for now, but if you're watching, please come and say hello to us. Give us some comments and some love. We'd love to see who's here. Lisa, would you like to introduce yourself? Welcome to the session.
Oh, thank you for having me, Anna. It's very exciting to be here across all your platforms, as you were just saying. I am Lisa Williams, also known as the Vision Board Queen. And I proudly wear that crown, but it hasn't always been that way. So I'm going to share a little bit about that today. But what I do as the Vision Board Queen is I help business women create the blueprints for their dream life using the power of vision boards so that they can live the freedom that they desire. Now, that freedom may be financial freedom, time freedom, and a lot of your audience are working towards that freedom within their direct selling business. So that is kind of what I do. I help them create that vision, bring that vision, and work through those barriers to get to that vision that they desire. So that's a bit about me, and that's what obviously my mission is, helping women to live that life that they deserve, because we all deserve the life that we desire.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's so important having that vision, whatever it might be, however big, however small. The vision is super key to success. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, really, because you have had amazing success since you started using your vision boards, haven't you?
I have indeed. So like I just mentioned, life wasn't always like that. I used to be a very negative person. I had a very rubbish money mindset. I always had the thought, bad luck comes in threes. It's always me. Bad luck always happens to me. And that was the programming that I was brought up with. That was the programming that I had in my mind. It was all I knew. I didn't know any different. So I lived my life in that negative state until 6 years ago. And that's when I decided that enough was enough. And I was introduced to a different way of thinking. But it wasn't until I actually stepped into the world of direct selling in January of 2017 that I was introduced to this new world of thinking. I didn't even know it existed before then. I didn't know anything about what we call personal development. And what got me into the direct selling industry initially was I had just experienced my second miscarriage, and I was in a very dark place at that time. I was very negative. I felt worthless as a woman. I was really at rock bottom. And I was watching a friend, an old colleague of mine. Her name's Faye. She's probably in a lot of your circles. And it was Faye that I was watching online, and I wanted her confidence. I wanted that inner confidence that I didn't have. And it was that drew me into the industry. I then signed up with a brand called Unique, which some of your audience are probably with. I still absolutely love their products. I don't have any bad thing to say about the company at all. And I started selling makeup. Now, I wasn't a very big makeup wearer. I knew the basics and that was it. So I massively stepped out of my comfort zone. But for me, it was always about learning to love myself again. And that was why I did it. I needed to learn to love me. So what Faye did is Faye was like, oh, have you ever done any personal development? And I'm like, what's that? Never heard of it. What do you do? So she's like, oh, go and read this, go and listen to this, go and do this. And I did it. I did everything that I was told to do because I knew I couldn't stay in that place any longer. I couldn't live my life anymore in that negative mindset because it was killing me. It was killing me inside. It was killing my life. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to be anywhere. I just wanted to get up and go to bed. And I had a young child, you know, I couldn't be like that. I had to show up for her. So I had to learn to change myself. So I was plugged into the personal development and I fell in love with it. I literally fell in love with it. And the one book that always sticks out for me to having changed my mindset completely was The Universe Has Your Back. And you've probably heard me mention that before, Emma.
Yeah.
And that was the one book where everything else that I'd read and listened to, that was the one thing that was like, do you know what? This makes sense now. I understand it. And that was, I started to live each day by that book then. I started to make the changes around that book. And I still do now. I still use that book as my baseline to this day. And it's like thanking the universe, you know, having that sign to make sure you're on the right path and really connecting inwards with myself. And it's that book that gave me those skills to take on away with me now. So that was what basically got me into this whole mindset shift. And then it was around 2018 that I created my first vision board. So that was understanding it, seeing it come up quite a lot. And it was around 18 months later that I actually created my first vision board. And as you mentioned, since then, I have had a lot of vision board successes.
Yes.
So the first thing, so my first vision board I created, and I wanted to see if it worked. So I put on, and I'm actually going to get you this picture. Just one second.
Oh, have you got it still? Brilliant.
So I put on this picture.
So, that's a picture of, is that Gary Barlow?
Selfie. So it says a selfie with Gary Barlow.
Right, okay.
And that was on my very first vision board. And then the vision board was created in the July. And I booked a ticket to go to his book launch. Now, anyone in here is obviously fans of bands and things like that. You don't really get to see them. You go to the concerts, and I've followed Take That around the country. You know, I go to every concert, but you never get to see them. So I booked a ticket to go to his book launch, there was only 1,000 tickets available. And in 10 of those books, there was a golden ticket. And inside the golden ticket, you got to have a meet and greet with him.
Wow.
And I got to have that meet and greet. That's when I walked home that day. But in my house, I was like, come on, everyone, visualize Mummy meeting Gary Barlow. And I got the whole family involved. Even my husband was like, do you know what? I really do hope you get one of these. Because obviously we knew about the tickets, but we didn't know who was getting the tickets. So it was kind of like a surprise on the day who got the golden ticket. And I got the golden ticket. It wasn't actually in my book. The person who I was meant to go with, who I go to every concert with, couldn't make the event. So I had to take a friend. So the friend who I took wasn't a Take That fan, but she just came with me to come to support me because she knew what it meant to me. And it was in her book. So the universe aligned for me to go with somebody else who wouldn't have been bothered about getting a ticket. So I basically had 2 chances to get the ticket, didn't I? Whereas if I'd gone with my original friend, I wouldn't.
Still not very great odds though. So how did you make that happen?
I just visualized it. I literally visualized every single day and I knew, and I even had the butterflies. It was going to happen. You know, when you get those excited butterflies, and I even had those butterflies all day that I was going to meet him. And I obviously had the whole family visualizing it. I was like, come on, you know, Mummy's going to meet Gary Barlow today. Mummy's going to get that selfie with Gary Barlow. And it was the closest I've ever got to him in terms of like number wise, because usually you've got tens of thousands, people at a concert. This is the closest I would have ever have got to that happening. So when I come home, I was like, do you know what? This actually works. this works. And that was ever since then, I have been so consistent with vision boards because I know how powerful they are. And then obviously from that, I've obviously had, we've had our rainbow baby. We've moved into our dream home. You know, I've had, you know, all the things that I've wanted in terms of my house, my garden. I've done lots of like business goals, like targets for sales, you know, a lot of incentives when I was in the direct selling industry, hot tub. And then more recently, we've just had our family holiday to Florida, which was the last thing that I really put on that first vision board. That's the last thing that I had to achieve off it. You know, everything else has evolved and developed throughout the journey. But that Disney holiday has always been something that I've carried forward every vision board, and we've just had that. So there's obviously lots of things in between that, you know, we don't all talk about. But a lot of people think it's just sticking pictures on a board, Anna, and that's kind of the biggest misconception with it. There is work that needs to be done. Like I wouldn't have, you know, achieved that dream home without working on my money mindset. You know, I wouldn't have achieved, you know, the business goals without actually doing the actions to plan up that, like the follow-ups and all the other things that need to be done in your business. I wouldn't have achieved that if I hadn't have done and taken the inspired action to associate with that vision.
Yeah, it's being on that determined path and being aligned with what you want, I think, that makes the difference. So your Gary Barlow example, you couldn't have just sat there and gone, this is what I want, this is what I want, and just wished it to happen. You had to take action, even though you weren't guaranteed to get that ticket. You still had to take the action to get yourself.
You had to buy the ticket to get to the event. And even trying to get, you know, imagine how many people were actually trying to get a ticket to that event. You know, that was it, even in its odds. You know, they were sold out within like 5 minutes, you know, not even that probably. But it's taking the actions and making sure that you're there in the right place, doing the right thing at the right time as well.
Absolutely.
So it's a massive, it is a journey. And like I said, it is more than just sticking pictures on that vision board. And there's lots of work underneath the vision board, which I am actually writing a book about, which is very, very exciting.
Oh, that is exciting.
So there's lots of things underneath that vision board that you know, that we need to work on, like our money mindset, like the fear of failing, like the fear of following up, the fear of rejection. There's all these things that are in, you know, when you're in your direct selling business, your network marketing, there's lots of things, there's lots of actions that you need to take in order to achieve that team growth, the sales retention. There's lots of actions that need to take, but sometimes you get blocked to take those actions, like procrastination, overwhelm, whatever that may be. That's what the biggest part of a vision board is. You have to work through that as well. You have to work through those actions, those things that are blocking you from taking the action, because that is how you're taking the inspired action. The universe is corresponding with that. The universe is listening to that. But if you're sat there in that mindset of going, I can't send that follow-up message, what if they don't respond to me? That is the energy that you're putting out, and that's the energy you're going to get back. So that's not going to achieve your dreams.
No,
because you're putting the right energy out for it.
No. The one thing that I remember learning about vision boards and having a vision of any description is that belief that you have to have that you can get it, and that want for it. So not just, it'd be nice to have that car, that holiday, that actual, this is going to be mine and I am going to make it mine. Those are the things that go on your vision board.
And absolutely. And that is where people struggle because of society around them.
Society around them, their self-belief, the things that they think they should want. And that's got nothing to do with your vision board. What somebody else wants, or somebody else, or you think you should want for somebody else. No, that's not how this works.
that's kind of part of the journey, though, is you might create your first vision board and just put on there things like, let's use the direct selling industry. A lot of people put on there the top of the company. Okay, that is an automatic. I want to get to the top of the company, but do you really want to get to the top of the company?
Exactly.
Yeah. What would that extra £1,000 at that next level mean to you and your family?
Yeah.
Maybe that's all you need for your life and your business.
Yeah.
You know, but a lot of people just put the top on because that's where they think they are expected to get to.
Yeah. And I totally agree with this. This is something that I say all the time in Direct Selling Success, because actually, yes, there's this plan that you can follow in network marketing, but actually you don't have to follow it to have the success that you want. It's your success. It's about what you want, not what you think you should want. If that's what you want, then that is great. That's what I wanted. And that was amazing. And I got it and I achieved it all. But that's because I wanted that.
Yeah.
You know, if it's not for you, it's not for you. If you don't want to build a team, you don't want to build a team. Your dream might be to be able to take your kids on holiday once a year, or to have a takeaway once a month.
The more that we kind of work on our visions and work on ourselves, the more that we will understand ourselves, and the more that we realize that's actually not what we want. It's actually not what we want to get there. Like, I had the top of the unique company plan when I first started, because that was where I thought I should be going. And it wasn't until I actually took a step back from the company that I realized that was never really what I wanted. I wanted the income to go with that. And that's still now my mission for my business. But I didn't want that. I didn't want that reliability on having that team. I didn't want to constantly be building that team, because it wasn't where I am going. It wasn't the right thing for me. But there's many people who do want that. And it's an amazing company. Like the direct selling world is an amazing tool to use in terms of having that business growth and that financial freedom. But the more that we work on ourselves, the more that we understand what we do actually want.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know for a fact, because I know how much I used visualization to get me where I was in my company and where I am today. And I used to sit down every single morning and I was like, this is where I want to be. This is my goal. This is what I want. And I'd write them all down, and I'd look at them every single morning, and every single morning they would inspire me to do what needed to be done. As uncomfortable as some of it might have been, as out of my comfort zone it might have been, you know, going to a networking meeting or posting something on social media or you know, going to run a team meeting or whatever it might have been. I knew that if I wanted to get this thing that was on my list, I needed to do that stuff. And that is what drove me. And I think having that really strong vision of what success is to you and what it is you want, that will get you to do the things.
Yeah, definitely. So the connecting to the vision board is key. Like what you're doing, what you've been doing is using the visualization is such a big part of being able to keep that connection with that vision. And the more you visualize, the more you actually understand what it is you want, the more you know what it is, the more you actually can see and feel that is really, really important. So if you don't visualize, and you're not actually going to realize it's not what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not visualizing. You know, if you visualize every single day that this dream is going to become reality, then you're actually going to feel so connected with that vision. But then you might, if you don't visualize and something has changed and life has changed, and you've got this vision on your vision board that you want to manifest, but then you don't even look at it, then you're not going to realize it's not what you want anymore. So visualization is so important.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The one thing that I teach a lot of my members and clients is I teach them to go and sit themselves in the place where they've achieved it. Yeah. So to visualize it, you put yourself in the position of achieving it so that you can see that it's real. So for me, when I was aiming to get to regional manager for the first time, I imagined myself on stage getting the recognition for achieving it. And I imagined my team around me, and I imagined how it would feel. And and what music was playing and who was there, you know, all those things. And every day I would put myself in that position as having achieved it. But because I could visualize it so vividly, I knew that I could achieve it. Because if I couldn't visualize myself there, for me at the time, it wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
that's kind of, it's very, very, very emotive when you can do that, and when you can bring up those emotions and feelings about that goal. That is what will start to change how you feel about achieving it. Because I think sometimes we have a goal and we don't think it's possible. What is the phrase? If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah.
And
that's exactly what it is, though. So if you're actually putting a vision on your vision board and you subconsciously think you can't achieve that, you're not going to achieve it, because that means there's work that needs to be done to actually believe that you can achieve it. So that's the biggest thing. There's lots of work like under the surface for like these visions and these dreams, but people don't want to do it. People don't want to take the action. And that's where, unfortunately, that's why they're the ones that turn around and say, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. There's something wrong with the company. Yeah, network marketing's a scam, all those things.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but you've got to have that belief and you've got to make it work. If you want it to work, it will work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you are listening to this and you haven't created a vision board, I would highly recommend you go out and start creating one. Start getting those images that you want on that board. Make sure you add some affirmations, because that will help reprogram the mind as well. And if you want to tag me in them, I'd be more than happy to see them, because I love seeing people's vision boards.
Yeah.
But that's, you know, if you haven't got one, use this as a motivation to go and create one. But make sure you do put that work in as well. Putting the undercover work in to start believing in those visions and believing in yourself, believing in your dreams, because we can all live that dream life. And I'm living proof of that. Anna's living proof of that. And it is an incredible feeling when you do achieve something off that board.
Yeah, absolutely. So Lisa, if people want to come and find you, where can they connect?
My favorite place to hang out is my Facebook group. That is the Vision Board Lounge. I will drop the links over to Anna to share. But you can also find me on Instagram, TikTok. If you type in Vision Board Queen, I'm pretty sure that I'll come up on all platforms. And you can find me at, there's lots of events that I'm going to be doing over the next few months. So if you want to meet me in person, I will be around. I'm going to be at, I'm not sure when this goes on your podcast, but I'll be at Will Manifest in July.
Yes.
I'm going to be at, I'm hopefully going to be at Anna's event in the October.
Yes.
Which is very exciting. So yeah, there's lots of things happening. So yeah, come and find me.
And you have a podcast as well, don't you, Lisa?
I do, yes, the Vision Board Blueprints, and you can find that on Spotify and iTunes. Is it called iTunes?
You're as technically minded as me, then, Lisa.
I don't. Yeah, I haven't got an iPad or anything. So
your favourite podcasting platform, go and find it.
Yeah, go and find me on your favourite podcasting platform. I know I'm on Google Podcasts and Spotify. And is it called iTunes?
Yeah.
Apple,
whatever.
Is that the old version of it now? I used to have an iPod. I think I had an iPod back in the day.
I think I've still got one of them in a drawer somewhere.
Oh gosh, yeah.
The big brick ones. Oh dear. Thank you so much, Lisa, for being a guest on here. It's been lovely to have you. And thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So I'll drop the links over to you, Anna, yeah?
Yep, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.